Randall Hughes with God Glorified, and we're commenting on today's scripture reading for December the 14th, in which we read from Acts chapters 26, 27, 28, the book of Philemon, chapter 1, and Colossians chapter 1. And so some wonderful words of God. Paul, in his journey to Rome, shipwrecked, how God stood by him, and he told them, I believe God, that it shall be just as he said. And I want to have that testimony. I'm believing God that he's going to work a work, and he knows how to do that. I don't understand it all, but I'm going to trust and strive to be obedient to him. And so Paul makes it to Rome. In Acts chapter 27, we read of one of the only instances in the Bible where somebody was handling a snake. Other than the only other instance I'm aware of is in Exodus with Moses, and when he was called and God told him to cast down his rod and it became a serpent. This is the only other instance. So when people talk about Mark 16, these are the two instances I bring to their attention. Jesus was not meaning to recklessly handle snakes or drink poison, but he was saying when his people encounter instances where they would otherwise see hurt, that is what it was meant. Or even beyond that it was meaning that Satan is the serpent that's under our feet and cannot harm us, much like Luke chapter 10 says. And so, at any rate, that's Paul's journey ends. He makes it to Rome and begins to write letters, writes to Philemon somewhere around 60, 61, and then begins the book of Colossians sometime around 61 as well. And some great truths in the book of Colossians where we read of how that we should walk worthy of the Lord with all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. I want to increase in my knowledge of God. And it's not so I can answer hard questions. It's not so anyone thinks I'm smart or anything like that. But I believe our understanding of Scripture is part of our relationship with God. And so that's why we study his word. That's why we spend time in his word, spend time in prayer, spend time in fasting, asking him to empower us and to enlighten us and to lead us and guide us in his truth so that we can know who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature, and understand that he made all things by dia, on account of or because of the fact he was going to become flesh and become a part of his creation to save it. And so we must continue in the faith, grounded and settled. And that's what I want to be, and I'm encouraging you to be grounded and to continue in the faith. God bless you.